Now that we're looking at relationships, I can introduce another very important concept about the database structure, and that is keys. Some columns within our tables are known as keys. These two, for instance, the ID columns in both tables, are the primary keys, which essentially provide a unique identifier by which we can identify each entry within the table. So instead of having to say a tribe called Quest, we can just say groups ID 1. This means that when we go to, for instance, make a relationship between the two tables, we don't have to use fallible data such as typing in the full name of the band. For instance, it's not even a question of spelling mistakes necessarily, but someone might simply type in tribe, someone might type in all lowercase, someone else might capitalize the first letter but not the rest. We get rid of all these complications by using a simple numeric primary key. The other kind of key is the foreign key. The reason it's called a foreign key is because it refers to a unique entry within a different table than the table in which the foreign key is installed. In this case, the foreign key is within the songs table, but the data refers to the ID of the entries within the groups table. So the data within the groups column, for instance, on the first row here, Jam On It, we'll look at that. The group is 4, so a quick scan down our groups table will find group ID number 4 is Nucleus. So the computer is able to quickly and efficiently locate the relevant group for the song. With regard to foreign keys, I should say here that MySQL does not support the official implementation of foreign keys. That is to say, although we can include foreign keys within our specifications for creating a table, for instance, it won't actually do anything. Other database management systems will only allow us to enter data into a foreign key column when entries exist within the other table. So for instance, if we tried to add in a new song and we tried to put the number 6 within the group column as an entry, it wouldn't allow us to do that within a different database system. MySQL, however, does not support foreign keys in this sense and is not quite so strict about it. This is a limitation in the way that MySQL implements the relational database management system model. However, there is always a trade-off with these things. With MySQL, you get a significant performance boost because MySQL is not worrying about enforcing referential integrity, controlling cascading updates and deletes and so on. However, again, the trade-off for that is extra programming work when we come to administer our databases. So there's plus and minuses to this kind of peculiarity of MySQL's implementation of the relational database management system. The way in which we get data from our tables is we have to write a query, and that's where structured query language comes in, or SQL. SQL is a very easy programming language. It's what's known as a fourth generation language, which means it'll be a lot easier than any programming language you've encountered otherwise, very likely. For instance, if you've used C, or if you've used PHP, or if you've used even very simple languages such as GW Basic or Visual Basic, you'll find SQL absolutely, essentially very easy to pick up. And even if you haven't ever programmed before, you'll find that because structured query language closely follows the syntax of real English, you'll find it very easy to pick up. Here's an example of an SQL statement. Now you may look at this and notice some words capitalized, some words not, and say, how can he possibly say this is easy? This is very obscure syntax. But we're going to be looking at what each of these words mean over the course of the next few chapters. And we're going to see exactly what this query can do. this kind of SQL statement will become very familiar to you through using this course. You'll find that you'll pick it up very easily, and you'll find that SQL is a very powerful way and a very flexible way to query your data and administer changes to your data and to pull out specific kinds of data using a query. For instance, this query, put into even more plain English than it is already, simply pulls all the song titles where the song has been written by EPMD. If you take a look closely at the SQL query, you'll see that it's not so far removed from the way we phrase things in real spoken English. However, we'll be looking at SQL in much greater detail in the following chapters.